What's good, y'all clowns? What's good, y'all clowns? We back. We here. We with another one. I love this fucking beat. I love this beat. What's good with y'all? What's good with y'all? Listen. Let me shut this down real quick. Shut that shit down real quick. Yo, hear me out. We about to get into the stream right now. We got a special guest on tonight. It's podcast time. It's talky talk time. Listen, this individual I'm gonna have on is an open book. Let me get into the Discord real quick. Hold on, 1 second. Hold on. Just please respect, man. Just that's all. It's an open book. All right. Let's get into this motherfucker. All right. Let's open that bitch up. All right. All right. Let's get this. All right, y'all. We here. We live. We have a guest here. I forgot to text him. Oh, he's here. Okay. All right. Hey, what's good?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right. So our guest here today, his name is Max. I want y'all to say hi to him. Say hi to Max. Max. Let y'all know.
Yes,
Fair
sir.
warning. No, no, I'm still third party. Max. I'm gonna let y'all know. Fair warning. Max is an open book. All right. Please respect what Max says. You know, it's his opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. These are Max's opinions, all right? So let's get to it, Max. What's your name? I mean, what's your name?
My,
How was your day?
oh
What's your
well,
name?
well, you already know my name, but my
Yeah.
day was good. It was a fairly normal day for me. Kind of a little bit of a lazy Sunday. I woke up, I went on Facebook Marketplace to see if there's any good deals. I'm a reseller collector of
I be
Pokemon and sports
I
cards.
be seeing that you be like getting N64s, PlayStations, all
Oh
them
yeah,
like, and
yeah,
then
that's
just
true.
reselling them and
Yeah,
shit.
I kind of switched gears. I had once a $6,000 video game collection that included inventory. But it's hard trying to find the games that sell fast, like anything GameCube,
Mm-hmm.
Mario, Pokemon related. They're
Just
fast sellers.
dang.
But it's hard finding those games because people scoop them up so quickly, and everything else is very niche for the most part. So I decided to kind of switch gears because I didn't feel like I was having much luck. There have been times where I've had ups and downs, but I felt like with cards is more of an investment. I could hold on to something much longer and have it rise up in value. With video games, there are very few that can go up and down like that in price, like an investment.
Well, as well as nowadays you could just download emulators and play off of them. So it's like it's more.
Yeah,
You're right. It's like a niche. It's like a downfall into it.
yeah, yeah, it is somewhat of a niche, and it's a very expensive hobby. I narrowed down my collection to only my PSP, my GameCube, and my Series X, and that's still over a $1,000 collection. But I pretty much have liquidated everything else,
Definitely.
and I pretty much have moved straight to cards, and now I'm having a $5,000 card collection, and it's just growing.
You have any? You have any on you right there? Like you can show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you might as well.
I'll show you what I picked up today, though. I'll show you what I picked up today that I'm going to sell. It is a Chilling Reigns Error Blister Pack. So what this is, I bought 21 of these,
That's the
and
one they
so
had at
what?
Costco's.
Yeah, yes, they
I
do
seen
have
the
these at
pack.
Costco, but
That's
not
why.
this.
Yeah.
So what this was, it was a compensation
Mm-hmm.
pack. So for people who bought ETBs, which is stands for Elite Trainer Boxes of Chilling Reigns back in 2021, which is the name of the set, people were duped because they didn't get enough packs in their ETBs. ETBs usually have like 9 packs or whatever, and they got duped. So Pokemon's like, okay, we'll send you exclusive ones that aren't in stores, and so this is considered an error. And I was just scrolling on Facebook, and some guy on the other side of town had these, and he was telling me that his brother used to resell, and this is the remnants of his inventory. So okay, I said I'll just take whatever remnants he has left. So
Whatever
I
you got.
so I scooped it. But if you hold on just 1 minute,
No,
I
go
can
ahead.
go
Take your
upstairs
time.
and I can
Go ahead. Take
grab
your
you.
time. Take your time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll grab you some of my own personal
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on
Go
one
ahead.
minute.
Take your time. Yeah. That's I don't know too much about Pokemon. Like I used to watch it when I was little, but I never understood the hype of the the cards and the collections and all. I mean, it's a collection. It's like if I like wrestling and I grab a belt and then later on there it's like a collectible. Like later on, people might want it. They might pay or Jordans like Jordan sneakers, the 1884 Jordan sneakers or some shit like that. Like they'll be more into it. So I definitely understand the point that he's coming from. I just don't know too much about the Pokemon cards and whatnot. What's valuable? Like if you put the Pokemon cards in front of me, I wouldn't know which one would be like. Oh, this is the one that you need that costs like $5,000. I wouldn't know that. So, but damn, he
I'm
got a whole
back.
god damn two big.
All right. Yeah, I got two binders. I got one for Pokemon and one for my sports cards. Which
Nice,
ones would you
nice.
like to see first?
Show them all.
Okay.
Not you could just like flip through
You know
them and
what? Let's
show them.
start with Pokemon
Okay.
because we were on the topic of Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm rebuilding my Pokemon collection, so everything is complete work in progress. Um, so I only have about, I think, hold on, I think I have like 7 so far, but these are mid to higher end sort of stuff.
Okay.
So here's what I have: all 4 starters right here, and you see the Charizard. That's the
Is the Charizard
infamous.
like the most popular one? It's like what card
Yeah,
is
it's
like
Charizard is money.
okay?
Like
That's what I was gonna
like
say.
when I'm in resale mode,
Yeah.
I buy Charizards at such a high market percentage. Like I'll buy a Charizard at 70% market value, and
Damn.
I'll flip it within the day.
Damn.
Like that recently just happened. I met a guy up uh at the where did I meet him? At the Starbucks in town. And he
Okay.
was showing me his cards, and I said, "I'll take your Charizard." I said, "I'll pay 70% of it," and it wasn't even in good condition. In
Damn.
the card grading world, PR is a 1, that means poor,
Uh huh.
and good is a 2, so that's between a 1 and a 2. And I sold that for 200, and
Damn.
I
How
made
much?
like 15% off of it.
Fuck.
I made like 18, $20. It was just a quick flip. But here is
I need to
a
get
closer
into.
look of my Charizard.
I need to get into that. Dang, that thing look crystal clear, bro. That
This is
thing
my
look brand
personal
new.
Charizard. I paid, to be exact, I paid 591. I rounded up to basically 600. And when you buy a card for more than $250 on eBay, they get it personally authenticated, so you
Yeah.
have eBay authenticity guarantee.
So how much
So
would
this
that sell
is,
for right now?
if I sold this right now, the prices for these have actually been going up. So I could probably make $20 off of this if I sold it right now. So maybe 620.
Damn.
This is from Beckett. There's many different grading companies out there that people choose, but when it comes to my Pokemon cards, I choose Beckett. And what's so great about Beckett is that they have subgrades. So they grade my card centering,
Okay.
the edges, the corners, and the surface, which are all such uh, uh, fundamental attributes in grading a card and its overall quality.
I was gonna say that card looks terrific. I'm not even gonna lie, that card looks
Yeah,
pristine.
yeah. Well, it is pristine. And then here are my other 2 cards that I have here. I have an Eevee, and I'll take them out for you. I have an Eevee and a Vaporeon. I do have some more cards coming in
Okay.
very soon for my collection, but I have the Eevee and the Vaporeon. I plan on getting the Flareon I have is coming in. The Jolteon, there hasn't been one to my liking that I found on eBay yet, so I'm holding off of that.
Okay.
Um, and then there are things in Pokemon called secret rares. And
Secret
those secret
rares.
rares, like, yeah, secret rares. Hold on one second. Just trying to put them
Nah, you good. Go ahead. Take
away.
your time. Take your time.
Yeah. So let's say there's 100 cards in a set, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there would be something called like card number 101 of 100. That would define as a secret. It's like a little fun card that isn't.
Like a
I really don't know how to
limited
put.
edition, basically. Like what you saying? Like
No,
it's
no, no, not a limited edition. It's just a card that isn't on the set registry, and
okay.
it's like a card for you to find out for yourself. And in 2001, they're in a set called Neo Destiny. 2002, I'm sorry, in a set called Neo Destiny, they had the Shining set, secret rare set. And this is one of them, this Shining Celebi. So there's like, you know how there's like shiny Pokemon?
Yeah.
This is one of them. I plan on collecting the whole set, and that set is like well over, I would say well over
10 grand.
2, 3 thousand, not 10 grand, but 2 to 3 thousand. If I were to collect first editions, then yes. I
When
don't
when did
collect first
the
editions because
when
they're so expensive.
when did Pokemon cards start, being developed? Like what was like
Uh,
the
so
year?
in the United States, it's 1999,
Okay.
but in Japan, it's like 96.
Fuck.
If you want to talk about modern cards.
3 years behind is crazy. Have you ever seen one
Um,
from '96?
yeah, yeah. I used to have some Japanese cards. I sold them though because some Japanese cards really aren't valuable because they're cheaper.
What
But
makes
it
it
all depends on the
valuable?
card though.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
What?
say. That's what I was gonna say. What makes them valuable? Like what? I mean,
So
besides them being a collector's edition, because I was just talking about this when you went upstairs to go get your binder.
sure,
I was like, I don't know too much about Pokemons, right? I don't know too much about the cards.
sure,
I know they have some value because it's a collectible, and you could put that in any other aspects. You could put it in sneaker aspects. You could put it in wrestling aspects. You could put it in basketball.
sure,
Any type of aspects.
sure.
So,
Mhm.
but I just want to understand, what makes it is it just because of that, because it's a collectible, that it makes it so valuable, or is it something else about it?
Well, let's put it like this: a value is is anything. A value is a term of what someone is willing to put on something, and the
Facts.
price they put on said value is
Facts.
what you make of it. So if you say this right here is $30, then the value is $30, but the true value is what someone's willing to pay.
Facts. It is.
Uh, so um,
I
let me
heard
bring
something
one.
similar. I heard something similar to that, like the other day, where it's like,
Oh,
okay, like if you go to the dollar store, right, and you go to the Dollar Tree, since we have Dollar Tree near us, right? We go to Dollar Tree, and you go there, and the bottle of water is $1, right?
yeah.
Okay, bottle of water is $1. You go to the movies, and now the bottle of water is $4. Um, you get on a
Well,
flight,
that
and the
would be convenience. That's just convenience.
yeah, well, that's what I meant. Like it's what you would value it at. So
Well,
like
yeah,
you don't
that's also
have to
true.
buy it there. You don't have to buy it there. You could
You can
buy
always buy somewhere else. Yeah, I see
exactly.
what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was
So,
trying to get at.
so yeah,
Because I
yeah.
know everything
So
is like a supply and demand. So like
yes, yes. And here's the thing.
if they made more of those cards, it wouldn't be so demanding.
Yes, yes, that is very true. If we turn to sports for a second, there was an era, I would say from 1986 to maybe 94, 95. There was an era called the junk wax era. Why they call it the junk wax era is because wax is like, so when you would get a baseball card pack way back in the day, or football, or even basketball, or whatever, it would come in these wax packs, these packs that were held together by like wax, and there's a piece of bubble gum inside, and you eat the bubble gum, and then you would look through the cards you got.
Yeah,
Right?
I
It's been
did. This is same thing like cereal
so they
boxes and all
called it,
that. Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
that.
So they called it the junk wax era, and that was because these cards were overproduced so much.
Yeah,
And so if you keep a card valuable, one of the things you have to do is you keep the production lower. But the thing is that they don't make vintage cards anymore. Like for my Pokemon, they don't make that base set Charizard. They did reproduce it,
Yeah.
but it's still not. It's not the 1999 base set
It's not
Charizard. It's a
original.
reproduce.
It's not original. I
It's
get
not
it.
original. So if you resell what's already used, technically used, then you I personally feel I have a better experience with a wider market range
Uh-huh.
than with people who just have new stuff. People who just have new stuff, you tend to the younger people. But if you have the older stuff, you tend to newer and younger people. I mean, older and younger people.
Yeah, because
So
they're
that's
like
that, and that's my personal experience with selling.
more
So
like into it. Like they're trying to, how can I say, like they're looking back and being like, oh snaps, they used to make it like this, and now they're making it like this. Like you get that
exactly,
broad
it's
standpoint.
nostalgia.
Yeah,
The
that's
market of nostalgia is one of the most expensive collectible markets out there, period. I don't care what anyone else says. Like for vintage video games, yeah, sure, people want to uh people want to re-experience what they wanted in their childhood on an emulator, but physically having it in your hand is totally two different things. On my profile picture, you'll see an old TV. That's
facts.
actually the old TV I have up in my room. A neighbor across town said to me, "Hey Max, I know you like this stuff. Can you take these two TVs off my hand?" I said, "Unfortunately, I can't take two. That'd be too much. I can take one." And that's the one I chose, a 27-inch Toshiba. Back in 2002, if you had a 27-inch television, bro, you were the shit.
Yo, facts.
You were you,
Facts.
like 27. That it's a huge. It was a huge TV then.
I still got the
So
box TV.
yeah, that's
I
what that
still
is. It's
yeah
called a
yeah. Oh okay.
CRT.
All
Stands
right.
for
Cool.
cathode ray tube. Cathode ray tube televisions.
Okay.
They
Yeah, I
stopped
didn't know
making
that.
them, I think, in the mid 2000s. Nonetheless, I digress. Let's go on to my sports cards.
All right. Yeah.
My
Let's go.
sports cards is where I have a lot more value.
Okay.
Um,
By the way, what's your
so
favorite? By the way, what's your favorite sport?
baseball,
Okay. Mine's is basketball.
baseball. I'm a baseball guy, but I do appreciate basketball. So I'll show you my basketball first.
All right. Let's see what you got.
What I have now, you'll see a different grading company, which is called PSA, which stands for Professional Sports Authenticator. They've been around since 1991.
Okay.
This is my 1996 Topps Kobe Bryant rookie, graded in a
Get the
9.
fuck out of here, bro.
Kobe Bryant's rookie, though, this is the base card. The Topps Chrome card is worth more in value, but I'm like, listen, man, a Kobe Bryant rookie is a Kobe Bryant rookie. I gotta have
Bro,
this, so I
get
picked
the
that up.
fuck out of here. Yo, that's crazy.
So yeah, but wait, hold on, it gets even crazier. Watch this. He
Bro, LeBron. Your shit's muted. And muted. And muted. And muted. And muted. 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 All right,
Yeah, sorry,
now
my
I can hear
girl was
you.
calling.
Get
I
the
had to tell her
fuck
that I
out of here.
picked.
How the hell you get that shit?
Yeah, sorry, my girl was calling before
No, you good. You
I had
good.
to tell her I had to call her back. But yeah, but wait, hold on. Here is my Holy Grail basketball card. I have a 2009 Topps Steph Curry rookie card.
Get the
And
fuck
here
out of here,
is my
bro.
Steph Curry rookie card right here. Oops.
Bro, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah, so and this is a really high grade. This is I paid 700 for this card.
How much is that shit worth
So
right now?
roughly the same amount. I just bought
Okay.
this,
All right.
so
Okay. All right.
but I would not be surprised if this card could be maybe a 10
I believe it's
twenty
gonna
thousand
go up.
dollar card down
I,
the road. I wouldn't be surprised because Steph, from what I know very little about basketball, but I do
I'll help
respect
you
and
out with
appreciate
that
basketball
because
players.
I will help you out with that because I don't know too much about baseball, but you can help me out with knowledge. You don't know too much about basketball. I will help you out with knowledge of basketball. That
Okay,
motherfucker
so
is the
from what I
greatest
know about
shooter in the
Curry,
world. He's the greatest shooter in the
right?
world.
So what I know about Curry is that he was either back in the day when he was on the come up back in '09, it was either him or Kim Kardashian's first husband. Oh God, what was his name? Um, uh, what was his name?
I know it was a basketball player. I'm thinking I don't know if it was Blake
Oh
Griffin.
my,
Was it Blake Griffin?
I
I gotta see.
yeah, you got to look that up for me
Kim Kardashian.
because
You said Kim
there was
Kardashian, right?
cheating. From what I know, is that there was big competition between these guys. That's what I know is that there was big competition, and and apparently he
Oh,
fell off.
it was Chris Humphries. Yeah, never
Chris
mind.
Humphrey,
Yeah, yeah,
thank
it was
you.
Chris
It was
Humphries.
Chris Humphrey.
Yep.
And Steph Curry, from what I know, changed the game. How he changed the game,
Yep.
listen, man, I'm not that knowledgeable. I don't know,
That's why I was trying
but
to
I
tell
just
you
know
he's the greatest shooter. Like he will shoot the
the
ball
greatest
at
shooter.
half court if he has to, and he'll make it.
MJ, is he MJ good
All right, so
or
they're two
no?
different. It's like two different generations. Like Steph Curry he made his own thing. He made his like he's a 3 point. He's a great 3 point shooter, but he's still good
Or,
all around. His defense is a little whack, but you feel me? Like he's still good all around. MJ was like a different type of level player. Like they're two different positions. They're two different but like they both became iconic in their own way. That's how I could sum it
sure,
up for you.
sure. Hold on one sec.
But
I'm on my computer. I have to
yeah, go ahead.
type.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I just gotta hold.
That's crazy. You got a LeBron card and a Kobe card. That's ridiculous. That's gonna be worth bread. Especially the Kobe card should already be worth bread.
Yeah, but the Topps Chrome card is worth even more of his
Yeah,
of
it's on a higher
Curry's rookie. The
scale.
Topps Chrome is almost always valuable. Anywho, now we're on to the 1970s with baseball. I have so in Canada, Topps was not really a thing. It was called Opeachy. And so, how do you know? Here's Thurman Munson, one of the greatest catchers in Yankees history. He was a catcher and the captain of the New York Yankees, I think from 71 to 79. And unfortunately, in 1979, he died in a plane crash. He was learning how to fly.
Shit.
And what happened was he, I think, lived in Ohio and he wanted to travel between New York and Ohio very fast so he could still be with his family, but also still play for the Yankees. So taking personal flights, I guess, was his way of doing it. And unfortunately, he had a plane crash and he died. And he's not in the Hall of Fame, but he definitely should be. What's that word? Posthumously? Can't pronounce that word. But he should definitely be, which means after the, I know what the word means. It means after the fact. So he should definitely be in the Hall of
Right.
Fame after
Yeah.
the fact. But his career was cut short. So this is O-Pee-Chee, and how you can tell an O-Pee-Chee card is you see it's in English on one side and in French on the other. So for my 1970s part of my collection, I am collecting O-Pee-Chee. Here is Raleigh Fingers. Look at that mustache, man. Look at that mustache.
Perfect mustache, bro.
He's Hall of Fame.
Perfect mustache.
And then I also have another Hall of Famer,
I'm gonna assume you
Dave.
got Babe Ruth in there.
Oh, dude, Babe Ruth is very expensive. I do have plans on getting one though. Dave Winfield. Now, Babe Ruth is his cards are very, very expensive. A one could be as much as 3 grand. The one I want to get is from Leaf. So Leaf is a card company that's around today, but they don't have as much traction as they did then. Personally, nobody. I really don't like Leaf because they're not licensed anymore. So like, if you get a Leaf card,
Yeah.
uh, you won't see any like logos of player like team logos. Like
Okay.
for example, the helmet will just be blank because they're not licensed by the MLB. But they do have some cool cards. It's just not my thing. But collecting old Leaf from like the 40s,
Yeah.
now that's where it gets really cool. Like I could get a Jackie Robinson rookie card. I could get who else could I get for rookies? Well, not for Leaf, but for Bowman, I could get a Yogi Berra rookie. You know, but anyway, now on to the 80s. So I have this guy recently died, Fernando Valenzuela, one of the best pitchers to come out of Mexico. He's in the Hall of Fame. This is his rookie card. There he is right there.
Every single one of your cards are pristine. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, I try to collect the highest grades I can possibly can. These cards are not worth so much. These were like kind of like for fun cards. Like that card I just showed you was a $20 card.
Yeah,
This is roughly the same amount. This is Cal Ripken's rookie card, 1982 tops. I got Roger Clemens. I got Don Mattingly. He was nicknamed Donnie Baseball.
yeah.
He had a couple good years, but he's not in the Hall of Fame. I definitely think he should be. Um, I'll try to bring him out. Gotta lift this up first. This is Don Mattingly. This is his rookie, 1984 tops. This was like 2 years before the junk wax era, where
Yeah.
cards were still kind of good. And it's kind of impressive that the fact that I have a 9, because quality control on cards were not that good. They would have like these print defect stains that they called ice cream stains because they kind of look like ice cream droplets
Hmm.
on the cards. So the fact that I have a 9 is pretty impressive. One grade above, right? I paid $100 for that card. One grade above would have been $1,000 because, like I said, that quality control is very hard. Now, I also have Tony Gwynn's rookie card as well. Tony Gwynn was a fantastic player, but the one of my favorite players from the 80s, which I think is really cool, I have an autograph of Ricky Henderson, and it's a
Damn.
PSA 3 Auto 9. The card is a very low grade, but I didn't pay for the card. I paid for the signature. I mean, it's
How
just
much you
such a
pay for
beautiful
this?
signature.
How much you pay for that signature?
I paid $379 for this.
And that
It's it was what?
it would bring up the value to like how much now since you got the signature.
Oh, I just bought this. I bought it right after his death. I kind of was on that
Oh
wave
shit.
because I was thinking, like, you know what? I'm like, he was a really good player. I said, I cannot believe I didn't have him in my collection. So I thought I should have a signature of his, because his signature really is it's such a beautiful signature. His nickname was the Man of Steel. He had, oh my God, how many career steals did he have?
I could check for you.
Definitely, I got to check this out. It was definitely more than 500. How many career steals did Henderson have? Yeah, more like 1406.
1400. God damn. Boy.
Yeah, so yeah, he was nicknamed the Man of Steel, kind of like how Superman was the Man of Steel, but Steel was a play on words because of stolen bases.
That's a lot of
Now
steals.
we'll get to my favorite card of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Of all time, I have a 1958 PSA 7 All Stars Mickey Mantle. So I
I
got a
heard of
Mickey
them.
Mantle card. Mickey Mantle is known as one of the best. He's one of the best Yankees of all times. I think he's forgot what he's still in the leader of in, but he definitely still holds some records that definitely still hold up today. And so much greatness is around that man. When did he get into the Hall of Fame? He got into the Hall of Fame in the 70s, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he died in 94 or 95. He was fairly young, but he drank a lot. He was an alcoholic. And so he died, I think, from liver cancer, fortunately. Getting some of his signatures, though, it depends. His signatures could be as high as,
Where would you have to
I don't
go to
know,
get
the
the
sky's the limit with his
where
signatures.
where did you go to get the signatures?
Well, sometimes they would have events that sign, and
I think he broke up.
their
Uh,
signed baseball card. Or what some people do is that you can find the addresses of where they live, and you can actually ship your card to them, and
Oh,
you
I
can
was
get your
about to
signature back.
say you said that you said it's a little too fast. You could just find their address they're at. I'm like, what?
No, you could, or maybe you send it to a PO box or something
Okay,
like that, and you have to pay like a certain amount of money. I know, like some
I
people
didn't
do charge quite a bit
I
to
didn't know
get
that was a
to have
thing.
a card signed.
I didn't even know
What?
that. I didn't even know
Yeah,
that was a
it's a
thing.
thing. I think it's weird. Personally, I think it's weird as hell. I'd rather meet the player.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, it's weird to send somebody just send him something so he could just sign. That's just like
Yeah, yeah,
that's weird.
it is a little kooky, but yeah. So that's pretty much my collection so far. I pretty much showed you every single card I have.
Wow,
I
that
don't like modern because I feel like when the modern cards become vintage, I don't think they'll hold the same value that current vintage cards do.
yeah,
Like when I think of something vintage, I think, how old will I be when this card turns 100? So, for example, my Mickey Mantle card,
yeah.
when that card becomes 100, I'll be 58 years old. And that's a card that's 68 years old currently right now, and its condition is a 7 out of 10, which I find to be utterly insane because there was no such thing as preservation back then. Like my grandpa in the 30s, he's actually still around today. He's 95. Told me he kept his baseball cards in a cheese box. Like there was no such thing as preservation.
Did
In an empty cheese box, he just threw his cards in there.
do you guys have like events for like people that like Pokemon cards or any like those like they have sneaker events where they have
Yeah.
like yeah, so you guys have those types of events, and where are they
Yep.
located?
They're located anywhere where someone wants to hold them, essentially. Like on February 14th in the thing in the Marriott in Bridgewater off of 22, there's going to be a Pokemon card show there.
Okay.
So but they're big ones though, like the big ones. If
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
what you want to know what big?
Yeah,
So
like
there's this
big
show called
ones like go ahead. Yeah.
the National is like one of the biggest card shows ever, and I think it takes place during the summer. And you go there, and some of the major grading companies are there. You can get your card graded on the spot because sometimes you can get you up to 6 months to get some of your cards returned because there's so
Oh,
many people that grade cards. So and and on the spot you can get your card graded and returned. Some of the biggest, most high end cards you'll see there. Like it's called the National. It's in Ohio, I think, and
have you been?
that's the kind of show you want to be at. What?
Have you been?
No, I have not. I would love to go though, but I don't have the money. And the reason why I say I don't have the money is because the cards I want there are like
It's tempting.
uh,
That's tempting.
so tens of thousands.
It's just
Now, could I
tempting to see
afford
that
something
there
tens of
too.
thousands? Could I afford something tens of thousands? No, because if I bought it, I'd be broke.
Yeah, no,
So there's a
everybody
difference
would.
between having the money and buying it and being broke, or having the money, buying it, and still being able to live. So
Yeah,
I don't have the money. So maybe once I get the funds up, maybe I could go to the National and buy something there. But all high end stuff there for the most part.
that's that's
But
that's
yeah, so
dope.
that's pretty much me in cards and video games, buying and selling. So that's pretty much what the deal is with me there.
All right, so the next topic I wanted to talk to you about, which you said that you wanted to open up about it, is this the state of Trump. So
Right. So Trump has been reelected. He is the second president in our nation's history to lose and win. Um,
that's true. Who was the first one?
the last man to do it was Grover Cleveland in the 1880s, I think, if I remember off the top of my head. He lost to Benjamin Henry Harrison, and then won to Benjamin Henry Harrison. Uh, what else? Oh, right. So Trump has defied everything. I wouldn't say he defied all odds. I knew he was going to win because we've had a series of bad candidates. Hillary Clinton in 2016, if we want to talk about that, she won. I mean, she lost the most winnable election, period. She was lazy. She failed to capitalize, and she let everything fall. And when it went into Trump's favor, then Biden came around. I will say, I actually did vote for Biden. I voted for Biden. I'm a registered Republican, and then I voted for Trump. I voted for Biden because at the time the pandemic was very important to me, and I feel like how Trump handled the pandemic with the hydroxychloroquine bullcrap was I didn't feel was the smartest move. To talking about that frankly dumb crap instead of focusing on the problem at hand. Like we have people dying, bro.
Yeah.
So I voted for Biden because of that. Did I like Biden? No, I absolutely despise the man. I feel like the man he was old. Trump is old, but his mind is very youthful. He can be in 3 different states in one day for campaign rallies, and he still has stamina to do more. Biden couldn't. People voted for Biden because of the fact that he wasn't Trump. But now we have something else. Now we see now we see the failures that the Biden administration has done. It's utterly dismal in Ukraine. Uh, uh, there's problems down at the border,
That was one topic
and
that you were very heavy on too. When I was looking at it, you were on
oh, Ukraine,
yeah,
yeah,
you were
yeah.
talking about that.
I stopped posting about that because of the fact that it was just the same stuff every day and there was nothing new, nothing groundbreaking. But I covered that for a year straight every day. Like every day when you go on the Snapchat story, there was always something new happening. But nothing new has really been happening until recently. Um, and the thing is that a lot of our tax money has been going to the Ukrainians. And the problem with that is that there were no results. One of the biggest things that I covered was the June 2024 counteroffensive that happened. And if I may, I'm going to bring up
You
a
can,
map of
you can.
Ukraine really
By
quick.
the way, that map you got back there, what map is that? The one right
Oh,
behind you.
it's just a fun little map that my dad bought and put together to point to all the places that he's been to throughout the world.
That's nice. That's dope. I like that.
Yeah, it's just a fun little thing. So, very briefly, what that counteroffensive was, if I can remember off the top of my head, and this is literally just something I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. Hold on, let me switch.
Yeah, go ahead. No worries.
How do I switch the camera?
You
I've
should.
never. I'm not used to Discord on the phone. Oh, here it is. I
Yeah, I was
got it.
about to say I was gonna have to get on my phone.
So,
So
so pretty much what it was it was going to be a three-pronged attack. So this is currently still Russian occupied Ukraine. They were going to do 3 attacks, attacking the port city of Berdyansk that fell on February 26th of 2022, and attacking Melitopol, which is a fortress city, and then relieving Mariupol. This is a strategic city because it's a junction, as you can see it intersects with multiple roadways.
yeah,
And these two are ports. They free these ports, you have more freedom of movement elsewhere. And in fact, the Ukrainians only have one port that's free to use, which is Odessa, which is right here.
damn.
So that was the idea, and it failed. And now how do our taxpayer money fall into this? Well, thanks for asking. How it went into this our tax money is that we gave them uh, outdated Abrams tanks. The why outdated is because we didn't want you know the Russians getting hands on our latest and greatest tech. The thing is that everyone is fighting with shit from the 1980s anyway. Everyone's just fighting with their old stock in case the US and Russia went to war. That was all their stock they've been fighting with, just the stuff they've been building and building and building throughout the Cold War. So that's the stuff they've been using. So using stuff from the 90s really isn't all that crazy sounding. But in the first day of the attack, they lost a quarter of the Abrams tanks that we gave them. And it was dismal. And it was considered a Russian defensive victory at the end of the day, after the offensive finally petered out. And then the Russians were advancing, and they haven't stopped advancing. And they haven't stopped advancing since the October 7th attack that Hamas did in Israel. So, which is another thing that I kind of covered on that I got a lot of shit for. But, you know, it's a lost cause, unfortunately, as much as
Hmm.
my heart does go out to the Ukrainian people and to anyone who's under any sort of oppression. It's a lost cause. I think that the only way to stop the fighting is to give the Russians territory. Unfortunately, the Russians currently control over 30% of Ukraine, and Ukraine is the biggest country in Europe. And that does not include Russia because Russia is multi continental. They are in Europe and they are in Asia. So the only country that is solely in Europe that's the biggest is Russia. I mean, is Ukraine. So unfortunately, I think it's the only viable option. And not have them join NATO because that's honestly what this fight was all about. There's this whole history. I don't know if you want me to go into it, but I can
Go
explain
ahead.
you history on history.
Go ahead.
You want me to?
Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Okay, here we go. Um there was a protocol in the 90s after the fall of the Soviet Union. Um oh my god. For the life of me. Listen, I know a lot of things. I just sometimes things slip from your mind. It was called the
Can't remember everything.
I can't remember everything. Uh, oh,
You need the first.
hold on. I'm thinking of the name. Thank you. Budapest Memorandum. In the 90s, there was something called the Budapest Memorandum, and it signified that that Ukraine was to hand over all their nuclear weapons because remember the Ukraine was under the USSR. It was known as the Ukrainian SSR, and the Russians had nuclear installations in Ukraine. So when this USSR broke apart, Ukraine was left with these nukes. And I think there were about three of them. So Ukraine was facilitated all this by the United States and Russia. They were supposed to give the nukes back to Russia. In exchange, Russia would recognize Ukraine's borders. So the main thing is that Russia is in violation of the Budapest Memorandum, although Ukraine, I don't know the direct translation, but it means borderland, right? So it means it's the borderland between Poland and Russia. So that's Putin's whole thing. That I let me look that up. I don't want to say BS.
You good. You good.
So Ukraine in Russian, yeah, Slavic term for borderland. Yup, I was right. So another interpretation that Ukraine means region or country. So it's that region. So that's what Putin uses to debilitate and to, I guess, delegitimize Ukraine's rights as a nation. He's like, yeah, we're just taking back what's ours, man. And in a very in a way he is, right? Ukraine was under Russian control for centuries. But you can even make the argument, and this is back and forth, that the Kievan Rus, which kind of rose during the Roman period and then really didn't become into being until after they got independence from the Mongol Empire, was the start and the birth of the Russian state. So they think the Putinists believe that in every aspect, in every way, it's Russian.
It does
Um,
that. It does that. It does that. When you go
yeah,
like
no,
this.
oh yeah, because I gave the thumbs up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's
If you
funny.
give it a thumbs
But
down, it'll do the same
yeah,
thing.
FaceTime I think does the same thing.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's the thing is that they are people. That there is a cultural distinction. There's a distinction in language and in some cases food from what I know. But in the warfare really didn't start until 2014
Hmm.
when the Russians marched into Crimea and annexed it. If you look on Google Maps, you can see that Russia has the Crimea as an autonomous region, but they do recognize it somewhat as a part of Russia. If you look on some maps, they do consider it as a part of Russia. But then there was a quote civil war facilitated in the Donbass region, which I will show here, which is in eastern Ukraine. This is the Donbass region all along here. And they took small parts of it right here in 2014, which was known as the LPR, the Luhansk People's Republic, and the DPR, the Donetsk People's Republic. And it was centered around the cities of Luhansk. And if I can find Donetsk, uh, right here, and Donetsk, right here. And so it was supposedly a civil war, but it wasn't, because there would be Russian soldiers dressed in civilian uniforms acting as pro-Ukrainian Russians, but it wasn't. It was in every way a war between two different countries, just more covert. And it became a more localized conflict. It kind of went out of the news. And then in 2022, things started heaping up again. And officially, there was Putin said that I'm going to invade, and with 150,000 men at around 5:30 in the morning, Russian soldiers were tricked, thinking that they were doing a exercise, and in fact, it was not an exercise; it was the real deal, and they were fighting. And that's pretty much where the second phase comes in, which was the full-scale invasion. The main goal was to capture the city of Kiev, and they were so close, the Russians, but they failed. Similar to how the Germans were just at the gates of Moscow in 1941 during Operation Typhoon, and they failed. But similar. Uh, I won't get into military semantics because I think that would be too much. I'm just here to give the basic history. But and that's pretty much, they withdrew, and then they uh, changed up their operations of where they're going to attack, and that's pretty much where they are today. I gave you really just a summary. It's such a
Yeah, I
complicated
know
history,
it's a broad, is way more details that
way
could
more
be said.
detailed, and
I
we
definitely
have
know.
so much more to talk about, so I don't want to take up too much
Yeah,
of your
yeah, and
time.
that was a great broad, like for everybody to understand. It was a great broad point where you were making, letting everybody
Sure.
know. Uh, so yeah, all right. So how do you feel now that that Biden's on and that now Trump is in? How do you feel about that?
How do I feel? Well, I will say I did vote for Trump this time around. It was my first time voting for him. I was 17 years old when he ran in 2016, so I was not old enough to vote. I was a couple months shy. I did support him then heavily. You know, I was really edgy growing up. I would wear my "Make America Great Again" hat wherever. I still have the hat around somewhere, actually. Uh, I bought it at my grandma bought it for me when we were in Mar-a-Lago. She lives in Florida, so when I visit her,
Dang, you went to
there was someone
Mar-a-Lago.
selling. Yeah, they were selling Trump shit,
And
and
how was that place? How was it?
oh, dude, it was heavily armed. I would see watchtowers and stuff everywhere. The place was a fortress. They call it the Southern White House for a reason. I think that's the official nickname of it. But um, I was very edgy. You know, then I learned to kind of keep my opinions to myself. You know, speak when spoken to. Have a polite debate. Don't just be in someone's face. Don't be one-sided. Understand the other side. I can understand if you are the family of an undocumented immigrant fearing deportation. That, yes, were your parents not supposed to be in the country because they didn't come through the legal port of entry? You can make the argument, yes. Yes, you can. But is it your fault? Do you think you should be deported because of that? No. Your parents did what was a loophole, and they made you an American citizen for you being born in this nation. But now here comes the tricky part. ICE has been on raid after raid throughout the country, especially here in Jersey. But here's the problem. The illegal immigrant workforce population has become such an essential part of our economy. They do the jobs that most Americans refuse to do. Not even refuse. More like, just, I guess that's refusing. They don't want to do it, right? Like, you would not be an employee of a landscaping company. You'd rather own it, right? That's where the money is. And then you can hire undocumented immigrants to work for you and you pay them under the table. That's how it works. So, and working in that landscaping, being employed, most people, they don't want to do it, you know? And that's where they come in and they are so essential. Oh, hotel maids as well. Uh, that's another thing. And I find them to be such an essential part of the workforce that if you get rid of them, and nobody's going to do them, but yet some more hardcore Republicans say that, oh, they're taking the jobs. But how can they be taking the jobs if they're not doing the jobs that, if they're doing the jobs that you don't want to do? How are they taking that? That makes no sense. What I would want out of an undocumented immigrant is I would want them to be properly vetted. I would want them to be an American citizen. I would like them to become a citizen because it is also an issue where if you're getting paid in cash, you're not legally registered. So if you're not legally registered, you're not paying taxes, and that's a burden on other people. So there's that. It's not just like, oh well, people say, oh, get the hell out of my country. It's not just that. It's the fact that they're not paying their fair share. They're getting paid in cash, and and that can be an issue. But now here's another caveat. I knew someone, her name is Tabitha. I went to community college with her. Tabitha's mother, it took her 10 years to become a citizen. I think, no, longer, 15 years. I think from 1985 to 2001, 2002 was how long she had to wait for that process.
That's a long
So
ass
it's
time.
it's a it's a long ass time. The problem is that how do you create a system where it's efficient and not fast but thorough, but not so long where it takes 10 plus years? That's the issue, right? But the thing is, though, is that if I'm going to let you into my house, I want to get to know you first. I'll take you out for coffee and we'll take you out for drinks, whatever. I want to get to know you first before I take you into something personal, like my personal domain where I live, right?
Hmm.
So, but now think of it on a huger, that's not even a word, on an even bigger scale where you have a nation of over 300 million people. Now, there have been cases that I have heard of, undocumented immigrants raping children, killing people. Now, any unfortunately, any person can in this country can do that. Of course, you'll have to face the
Yeah,
consequences,
yeah, yeah.
but anybody can. But the thing is that how do you treat this when somebody wasn't supposed to be there in the first place commit such crimes?
It's
So
very hard. It's very hard to.
it is a very hard thing. It is very very hard thing, and I'm trying to be as balanced as possible when I say this because I do work in the industry where I do meet a lot of undocumented people. I work in construction. So I'm out there in the field, working with these guys. These guys don't understand English. I have to try to like use a lot of point like lumber over there or something like that, just as an example. And I will say they're some of the hardest working people I've ever met. The amount of respect I have for them is boundless. The fact that like I'm out here sweating I remember one day it was doing an addition job and I was sweating my balls off. It was over 100 degrees And I even had to take my shirt off. Like I was just like, I just can't do this.
Yeah.
It was over 100 degrees, and these guys, I feel like I'm about to give up, and these guys are still working and grinding. And then that inspired me to continue to work harder because I'm like, listen, dude, I can't complain, bro. I just put on more sunscreen and went right back to work, you know? And lots of people now don't really want to do construction either. You know, these trade jobs, are being more for the immigrant population, documented and undocumented.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
So that's just my sense on it. But still, people should come through the legal port of entry. And there are ways to do things, and there are not ways to do things. And unfortunately, although as long as it takes, there are some bad eggs that do get through, even if it is like 3% bad eggs. That's still bad people that get through. We want to try to have as much people as possible come through who can come through the legal port of entry, gain citizenship, and become a real viable workhorse of the economy instead of still being that viable workhorse, but being paid under the table, dodging taxes, unfair to the taxpayer. It's a problem. It's a problem that I think should be resolved. But also there needs to be a way where the vetting process could be faster, but still be just as thorough. And who knows what system that could be,
Is it you
honestly.
basically trying to say like it's just has to find the right balance?
Yeah, whatever that balance may be, I have no
Whatever.
solution for it. And it
Well,
seems like our federal government has no solution for it either besides mass deportation.
you don't have a solution for it, but if you were to be in that position, quick thinking, what would you do? What would you
Um,
do?
I would want to try to become a citizen. I I I'm the kind of person who always loves to contribute. I'm always here to help. I'm always here to help. I would want to try and find a way to become a citizen. So my family doesn't get deported, I don't get deported, and now do I know that process? I'll be honest with you, I don't. I'm not that well rounded in this. I don't know how long it takes to apply for the citizenship test, but I would try. I would try to maybe also brush up on English. I know that at RVCC, my local community college, they offer great programs for ESL classes as English second language. Um, and they do have a very good program for people who may not afford as much as someone who could pay for a class outright. They have great programs for that as well. That I do know. Because they're very I don't want to say undocumented immigrant friendly. I know that sounds a little insensitive, but they are very uh uh friendly to that in the sense that for in the sense of the struggle. I guess in the way that they adhere to that. I really don't know what word to say,
Yeah,
so I'm
no,
just trying to.
I know. I
But
understand.
but yeah, so that's what I think. I think that there are better ways to go around things, but yeah, I don't think people want to wait as long because the processes are so long in general, which causes people to do what they do.
All right. So, what do you think about this birthright citizenship?
About
The birth the
about in
so
Israel, or you mean in the United States?
no, in the U.S. the
Oh, the
birthright.
birthright.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I have heard about that. I think that if you are born in this country, you are an American. I think you can become an American citizen as well. If you're not born in this, I know plenty of people who I know so many people who are not born in this country and they become an American, they gain their citizenship. I know tons of people like that. But to say you're solely an American, right? Because isn't that the argument saying that you can only be an American now if you're born in America? Isn't that the argument?
No, well, uh, so it's let me get it all straight. Let me hold on. So it's basically you know how if you're in America, like, all right, let's say you cross the border from Mexico, and then your child
Sure.
gives birth here, then it's automatically you're American. Your baby's an American
Right. Yeah, that's
citizen.
the Dreamers thing that
Yeah,
Obama put in.
so he's trying to take that out.
Oh, he's trying to get
Yeah,
rid of the Dreamers thing.
yeah,
Right. I also did hear about
as the
that.
14th Amendment.
Right. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think that, listen, bro, it's not your fault where you're born, right? Why should you suffer the repercussions of where you're born? Like, um, I shouldn't be chastised because my parents are undocumented, as an example. I should not be the one to be victimized because of that. I am an American. My parents may not be, but I am. I do find that to be a little unfair. Like I said before, it's a loophole in the contract. That's really what it is. You come here illegally, you have children here. Or another loophole is people come here illegally, they get married to someone who's a citizen, someone pays them a lot of money to marry them, and then after a couple months they get divorced, they become a citizen. That's another loophole.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Definitely seen that
I,
one.
I yeah, no, it's real. It's people do it. I know how often.
Uh,
Um,
Probably very
I
often.
can't. No, I don't. Well, listen, I don't know how often, but it does happen. Um, People will be like, "Hey, I'll pay you 50 grand if you marry my daughter here,"
She,
but she ugly as hell. But hey, you're getting paid 50 G's.
she,
So why you complaining, right?
she. 50 grand. How
Now,
ugly is she? It don't matter.
yeah, right.
Just throw the give me the money. You don't worry about it. I'll deal with her ugly ass for a little bit.
Yeah. Just maybe get really drunk until she starts looking pretty, huh?
Yeah, just take a little or smoke weed or whatever. I don't know. Do something until she started. Or look at
Exactly,
her from a
exactly.
distance. You look at that bitch from a distance, she won't look ugly to you. You can't see her.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.
So now, yeah. So that's pretty much my opinion on it. Like I said, the immigrant thing, I don't have so much of a knowledge about, but I do know what it means to contribute. And basically, in summary, it gets harder on the taxpayer when people are invisible,
hmm
technically, right?
So,
It's harder. It's hard that way.
so I can tell that you love history, right?
Oh, I do. I love it.
So what do you think about him releasing the documents of John F. Kennedy?
Dude, I'm ready for it. I am not a conspiracy theorist at all. At all. I'm not crazy like that. But if there's one theory I can get behind, it's the magic bullet theory. Because I do know a little bit about weaponry as well. The rifle that was used was an 1895 I think Carcano rifle. And it's a rifle used by the Italians. It's a 5 round bolt action rifle. I'll bring it up. Uh
Let's see that.
I'll bring it up here. So this is the Carcano. Hold on, let me bring it up. That's it. That was the rifle that JFK was killed with. And the weapon sucked. It was the shittiest piece of crap that you
Carcano.
could ever use. It it had a like it had a standard barrel length, like 17 inch, 17-inch barrel, which most rifles of the time had.
Yeah.
It was just horrible.
Well, for it to
I
be
think it had
horrible,
to. I think it had to do with the action system, like pulling
I
back
was
the bolt.
I was gonna say for it to be horrible, that man had a great accuracy.
It jammed, and I think there was problem with the rifling system as well. From what I hear. Now, what does this have to do with what I'm telling you? The weapon, the shots that rang out, people have recreated the situation to a T. And I think 10 years ago or so, the world's best shooter at the time was in the same environment, recreated the same setting, used the same rifle at the same position and same distance, and could not get the shot that Lee Harvey Oswald did. He was close, but he could not get exact. Now, that leads into the magic bullet theory of the second shot. Now, the JFK thing, I'm not too familiar with, but I do know just enough to get by. That second shot, where did it come from? What do we know about it? We know nothing. The CIA has been holding everything from us. People think it's a mob hit, and the CIA did it work together to take him out. Because here's what we do know: Lyndon Johnson wanted to be president so bad. He wanted to be president so bad. And there's even phone calls, recorded White House phone calls to prove it. He was a showman. Like, for example, when he was running with Kennedy in 1960, a book I read about the election in 1960, he was a Texas boy. But whenever he would campaign in the South, he would make his Southern accent more apparent. Like, he would put a lot of emphasis on it, talk like that, talk with more emphasis to really appeal to the Southern voter more. You know, and there's also, from what I hear, evidence as well that the 1960 election was fraudulent. As people say that every election is fraudulent here and there, even, you know, but there was evidence that something happened in California and so on and so forth with the electoral votes there and so on and so forth. But it was so that's where the conspiracy lies, right? And that's the problem. So, with that being said, I'm very curious to see what happens when these documents do get leaked. I want to know if there was a second shooter, where the second shooter was, or even who it was. Did Lee Harvey Oswald even shoot the killing shot? Because technically, that would make him an accessory to murder, right?
Yeah.
In some states, it's different. Like in Oklahoma, even if you're the driver of a getaway vehicle and you kill and someone else kills the other person, you could actually be charged with murder. But most of the time, you'd be an accessory. So that'd make Lee Harvey Oswald an accessory. And we were going to get information from him, but I forgot the name of the guy who killed him, but he was killed. So, like, was the guy who killed him a CIA mole? Like, we don't know. I would love to know this.
This is something you're excited to hear about.
I'm pumped for it, man. Give it to me. I'd be up all night watching documentaries then once that shit's found out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pumped. I'm very excited for it.
Well, I would like to hear. I would like to hear what they got to say about this. You know,
Oh yeah,
it feels
definitely.
like for me, it feels like it's just like if the Tupac and Biggie story broke out.
Yeah, they found out who did it though. They actually got the guy.
Who?
Yeah, there was a rumor or something that came up that I heard somewhere that they actually found who killed I think it was
Biggie
even
and Tupac. Don't tell
yeah,
me it was
who
Diddy. I need to know. I need the full proof. I need to know that it
yeah,
was that person.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
something
was
I
right.
wanted to know.
His name was Dwayne Keith Davis, also known as Kef D.
Hold
Was
on.
the only person charged with the murder of Tupac. Davis is a former gang leader, member of the Southside Compton Crips. He was arrested on September 29, 2003 and charged with murder.
Dwayne Keith Davis.
So we have one of those mysteries solved, right? We uh But apparently they say that in his defense, Davis's lawyers argue that the evidence they say, this is what I'm not saying this verbatim. I'm just reading this verbatim.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Evidence used to charge him with mostly hearsay and speculative. And then they say Davis said that his past admissions of involving in the killing were for entertainment. That's pretty hard. That's pretty hard nowadays. I mean, like we had like what didn't King Vaughn like literally like describe a murder scene in one of his like songs or some shit like that? Like saying that you just killed someone for entertainment, that's or just saying it for entertainment, that's pretty wild. Knowing that what some rappers have done. I mean, like,
That's a
listen,
whole
AK made a
nother
whole album while to run from the feds.
that's a
You know, so
whole nother subject right there.
it is a whole nother
Because
subject. It
they
is a whole
they
other subject.
they do be saying some wild shit on raps that just
They do, and there's some people that are like famous for like no reason,
yeah.
and they really shouldn't be famous.
Well,
But
that's a whole nother.
nonetheless, that is a whole other topic.
That's a
But
whole nother topic right there. But that's a
that
topic
is,
that's very interesting though, because the people
it's
do be
still
getting
very
away with that
interesting.
shit.
People
S-
do. All right. So
So
what is the next topic?
so next topic is the last topic. So I don't have to it don't get too much of your time. It,
I'm here all
still
night,
on the
brother.
same thing with you. Oh well, great. Still on the same thing with you. Now you see all these new. How excited are you about like the taxes shit now? Like now that Trump
About
is
the what?
about the taxes and whatnot. Now that Trump is
The
back to president,
taxes? Well,
so like taxes on overtime is no longer
right.
if it
Yeah. So that's
passes.
a little bit skewed. So what I heard of how it's going to be is that they can't not tax on all overtime. Like if you work like if you work like I don't know, I'm giving a wild number, like 40 hours overtime. Let's just say for example. I know it's impossible, but let's just say for example.
Yeah,
Unless you work 24 hours every day,
yeah, that's yeah,
but you work yourself to death. They're not going to tax they're only going to not tax up to a certain point, right?
shit.
So they're
Ten
not going
hours
to
is
give you.
enough. 10 hours is enough for me.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So they did that for campaign reasons, saying, "Oh, we're not going to." There's a realist. They have to be real, right? You can't live in this. That's what my therapist, God rest her soul, always used to say. Max, you live in this fantasy land. True to a fault, but thing is the fantasy is they cannot tax on overtime for every hour that you work overtime, but there is going to be a limit. Let's just say you work 10 hours overtime, like you said. Maybe that would be the limit, but there has to be a limit. We have to be real here.
Yeah,
Money doesn't just grow off of trees,
yeah, facts.
so there has to be a limit. And
I
I
wanted
think
to
that limit
know.
is roughly 10 hours or so.
I wanted to know is let's say if you're an owner, right, of a company, landscaping, let's say, right,
Okay.
or and I'm your employee and I'm past 40 hours, so now I'm on overtime. Okay, I see that I'm not paying taxes, but are you paying taxes?
Well, if I'm paying you cash, if your business, from what I know, I
Is
don't
the
claim to be an expert in this, but from what
yeah.
I know is that if your business is entirely in cash, there's no way you can be taxed because if you pay entirely in dollar bills,
Well, no,
there's
no,
no
no.
way.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Put it as it's
I'm not.
like a regular business, and that you have to pay
Oh,
me
oh,
with
it's
a
a regular.
paycheck, right? So
It no, there are
you
people that pay you in dollar bills and that's your paycheck.
no, that's what I'm saying. No, let's not do that. Let's do like actual, but let's like a business incorporation, whatever
Oh,
you want to
so
call it.
so
Like
I don't pay you. So I
you're
don't
not
pay you
paying
under
me
the table
cash.
in bills.
No, no under
I give you a check.
exactly. You give me a check like a regular job, like if I was working at Walmart or something, right?
Okay.
And I'm passing the 40-hour mark, and now I'm on overtime. I'm not paying a tax. Let's say I did 10 hours. Okay, I'm not paying 10 hours of taxes for my overtime. But is the company paying those taxes? Because the company before had to pay those taxes. So
I
are they
I
paying it now?
I I'll be honest with you. Listen, I don't claim to know everything, and I will be honest with you. I can't give you that answer. I'm not sure.
What would you
I
just hypothetically? What would you think? Since we're already at the topic.
I mean, I would think that I I would think maybe I would have to pay taxes if because that would be considered an expense, right? An employee is an expense.
Yeah, and
So,
what I'm
because you
saying
got to pay
is,
them.
so they might not even want to give you overtime anyway. So it would
Yet
be
most businesses
irrelevant.
don't like to unless they really have to.
That's why I
You know,
said
like
so. It would be irrelevant for us to like work overtime.
I think that there's clauses in place. We'll have to see more because, like I said, this is going to be a. I think it's going to be a different Trump administration than the other one. So we'll have to see what happens more when more things roll out. Uh, uh, I'd like to. You know what? Let's look at something right now. Let's learn right now. What does Trump mean by no taxes on overtime?
Yeah, let's see. They have the little cap on here.
Okay, so here's what the Tax Foundation said on 20 in September 13th. So so okay, so it was a straight exemption from income tax for those income earned for overtime work. Exempting overtime from tax would add Trump's growing list of newly proposed tax cuts, including exemption for tipped income and Social Security benefits. We estimate a lower bound reduced in revenue from exempting all overtime pay from individual income tax of 680.4 billion over 10 years on a conventional basis. The latest proposal would increase Trump's already promised 6.1 trillion in tax cuts to 6.8 trillion, raising the total deficit increase of his entire tax and tariff plan to 2 trillion over 10 years, further exempting all overtime pay from employee side payroll taxes. 6.2% for Social Security and 1.45% for Medicare, combined with the income tax exemption, would reduce tax revenue by 1.1 trillion over 10 years. The lack of design, I'll read one more paragraph. The lack
Yeah,
of
go ahead.
design specificity creates uncertainty over the ultimate revenue effect. For example, if the proposal exempts overtime compensation for income tax on both sides of the payroll tax, the cost would exceed 1.5 trillion over 10 years. On the other hand, a narrowly tailored proposal that only exempts the 50% overtime premium from income tax would reduce revenue by about $227 billion over 10 years on a conventional basis. So I'll read the last sentence on the next one because this is important. While key details are missing from the overtime proposal, exempting overtime pay from income tax would significantly distort labor market decisions. So they say employees would be encouraged to take more overtime work, and hourly salaried non exempt jobs may become more attractive if the benefit does not extend to salaried employees. So it's like basically saying that more people would prefer hourly wages than contract wages.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because what's the point of having a let's say a $95,000 contracted salary if I could work at, let's say, Walmart, get paid the 12, $15 an hour, but work OT and get
100%.
unlimited OT.
100%. I can't stand salary. Salary is only good when you know that it froze. You probably got a call.
Well,
It froze. It completely froze
uh,
out of here. Yeah.
I would prefer a salaried contract, man. I mean, like I'm fixed about how much money I make, and I don't need to take any. I'm not saying you don't need to take any cuts. I would want to be a salaried employee. Personally, that's just me. But being hourly, I feel like it's like if you're hourly, I feel like I'm lower on the totem pole. If I become contracted, that means I'm rising up.
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
stay.
That's
I don't
true.
want to stay hourly forever. Why do you want to stay hourly forever, bro? You don't want to be the bottom. You want to be at the top.
I
You want to be the
wanna
tiger pouncing on the gazelle, man. You don't want to be the gazelle.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I wanna work for myself. That's what I wanna do.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
so
right, do your
it's
thing. You know,
not
be your
that. It's not
CEO.
that. Yeah, I don't want to be on salary because part of my language. But a nigga doesn't want to be stuck fucking for a company for a whole year. Salary is a contract for a year. You know that, right? Or maybe 6 to a year,
You
6
can
months
get
to a
a you
year.
can get a raise anytime the
Uh,
boss feels. Or
but yeah, but that
I'm
means you're stuck there. Like imagine having to sign your life away for a year.
I don't really. I mean,
I look at it
you're
that
thinking of
way.
it with
I
a
look at it.
glass half empty kind of look.
I
I wouldn't think of it like that. I would think of it with a glass half full sort of deal. I would think of it as something like it's an opportunity. I mean, like think about it. Like making 100 G's a year on a contract, bro.
see.
I mean,
I
come
get
on,
that.
bro. If you think of it signing yourself away to the devil, I mean that's how you're treating it.
I
Like
it's just
I
when
mean, like,
when you
bro, do you think you're gonna? I don't know. Listen, call me ignorant when I say this, but I don't know any person out there who can make 100 grand a year being hourly. I don't know anything like that. So
OnlyFans
if you know
models,
something, tell me. I don't.
OnlyFans and OnlyFans models.
OnlyFans is not hourly.
No,
OnlyFans is not hourly.
wait. You can make a 20-minute video 5 times throughout the
Well,
week, and that's an hour of work, and that's whatever
but
the
that's
hell
not
you're gonna
hourly
make from
wages though.
views.
It's not. It's not. You get paid. You get paid per clip. You
But
get
yeah,
paid per video.
but
And then
it's just
then you have a separate revenue stream of your subscribers, right? So you have your
yeah,
subscribers
yeah, yeah.
watching you fuck,
Listen, I don't
and then you
support
have the
it.
people that are paying you to see
I
fuck. It
You feel me? Look, I don't support it. I'm not saying I support it. I'm just saying
oh
there's
bro, if you do
so
OnlyFans,
many
if a woman does
ways.
OnlyFans, she's a waste of a woman.
No, no,
Oh,
what? I can't say nothing about
pardon me
that.
though, but
No,
that's me.
I'm the unbiased person right now. I can't say nothing about that. But I'm saying what I'm saying is like there's so many ways of making money out there. It's not even
Oh, of
funny.
course,
So for
of
me,
course.
it's just a personal feeling for me. Like I said, like I would love to make 100 grand. Don't get me wrong, but for me, it's like a personal feeling. Is like, all right, I'm signing this because let's just say it's a year contract because I'm pretty sure contracts like those are going to be a year. Am I lying or am I wrong?
It would all depend on the. It would all depend, bro. Like I'm not salaried, but I can tell you for a fact that anything would all depend.
All right. Well,
You know, it would all
let's
depend
give it the
on.
minimum. Let's give it the minimum of a year. It's like it for me personally. It feels like I'm just all right. I'm signing this contract. You know, if you're getting 100 grand, that they're gonna make you work for that the whole year. Like they're gonna calls that like let's say if you work for a corporation, like you get calls in the middle of the night, you gotta go to work like hours of the day. Like it's just like it would be draining within time that you won't have an sometimes you might not have enough time to do what you want, right? It may be
I
like
mean,
that.
I mean, I, 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 I I think you got your shit twisted a little bit, dog.
All right, go ahead.
And the reason why, I think that is because if you're hourly and you miss a day, right?
Hmm.
You're losing that money. From what I know about being contracted is that if I call out sick with a legitimate reason, like if I'm legitimately throwing up, like sick with a fever, can't move out of bed, I'm still getting that money.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I know you there's PTO, paid time off and all that stuff, but you're still guaranteed that the 100 G's depending on what your contract is. But listen, everything is different. Every organization is different. Whether it's whether you're in stocks, whether you're in sales, whether you're in whatever you may be in.
I guess
If
I speak from experience. I
every
used to be on
contract is
salary.
different. What?
I speak from experience from my
Sure.
that's from my personal.
So were
I
you salaried at one point?
yeah, I was salary at one point.
Okay, all right.
That's why I
Well,
said it
well,
like
then,
that.
well, bro, you should have said that then. You can say,
Uh,
speaking from his,
No, I
you say
mean like
this far down in the argument.
I didn't
You
want
say
to.
this far down in the argument.
Nah, like, I mean like I was just just throwing a curveball in there, But I mean I
Okay,
was
I mean, listen, I never claimed. Listen, bro, I never claimed to be Houdini and know everything.
no, you didn't have to. You don't have to.
No,
But
no,
that
I'm saying I didn't. But so now, let me put you on the spot, right? You you were salaried. How much
mhm.
were you making?
I would like not to say. because I'm on
Okay,
screen.
you don't want to
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah.
fine. Okay, if you were to give me a
But
rough
even if I
estimate, if
was,
I'm going to give you a number,
let's just say 100 G's. Let's just throw that out there.
okay, let's just say 100 G's. All right, I was going to give you a more conservative estimate above 50 grand.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's what I was going to say. Above 50. All right. So above 50. Now, why why the need to give that up and prefer to work hourly? Is this because of the thing that Trump is proposing? Because as we both were talking
Nah.
about,
This was a long ass time ago.
this
Yeah,
was a long time ago.
yeah.
Okay.
This is a long ass time ago. So,
Okay, because I'm still a little confused. Why would you not want to be? Why would you not want to be hourly again? I kind of.
oh no, I am.
Okay.
I am hourly.
I mean, not
Yeah.
salaried, not salaried. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
but like I said, it's like you said, going from hourly to salary is a higher position, right?
Oh yeah,
It's never gonna be the other way around, right?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
And you moving up to that position gives you more responsibilities, more tasks, more
You don't
on
like the
demand.
responsibility.
Not that I don't like the responsibility, is that when you get to a certain point where you want to work for yourself, you tend to
Gotcha.
not want to. Yeah, you tend to not want to worry too much about the other side. Like the companies that are hiring you for salary, they want to drain you. I'm just saying, like they really want to drain all that,
But
drain you because they're paying for a reason. Like,
you felt like that. Okay, so I'm getting that you felt like you were a slave to the system and you weren't getting your money's worth. You felt like
oh,
that
the
you were
money
worth
was
more than you were
great.
being paid.
I'm not gonna say the money wasn't great, but money isn't everything. And when you
Of
want to,
course, you could be the most miserable billionaire on the face of this
is
earth.
exactly, so when you want to move towards something that you want to do just for yourself, you have to limit yourself somewhere else. Because if you don't limit yourself somewhere else, then you're limiting yourself on what you want to do for the rest of your life. If I
So
that where I was making salary at is not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
you felt like that you didn't have enough time to be you. Is what you're saying. You felt like that you could do more.
I feel like
Am
it's
I getting? Am I,
I feel like it. I feel yes. I'm saying yes to your response, but I'm saying like I feel like everyone should feel that way. No,
of
like
course.
yeah, like I don't know if it's I'm trying to understand if it's a bad thing, which I don't know.
It's a bad thing. I don't think so. I don't even think it's really even selfish. If you even want to put it like that, I think that if you're truly not happy, bro, do what you love. Like like what else can I say? Like for example, I'm doing eBay besides like
That's
being a
that,
seller. I
that's
mean, besides doing construction.
yep,
You know,
yep.
eBay. There are there have been quite a few millionaires off of eBay. People just sitting, going to stores, buying, flipping. You know, I did all that. I for a side hustle this year, I did pretty good. I just got back my statement from eBay, and I made $12,700 from January 2023, 2024 to today. And I think for a side hustle,
That's
that's
good.
not bad.
That's good. 10
Like,
G's
like
for a
that's
year.
pretty freaking good. Yeah. So, and I did it, and you know what the thing is, bro? I had no supplier I could count on.
Hmm.
The inventory was entirely on myself, and I did it all by myself.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Maybe,
No, go
no, you're
ahead.
fine.
Keep going.
I think maybe what some people are like, you work for a company, you earn that money yourself, but you're not doing everything yourself.
That's
I think what
facts.
some people are looking at is more reward. Like when I earned all my money on eBay, bro, that was money that I did everything myself. I was the supplier, I was the employee, I was the
Don't it feel
boss.
good? Don't it feel good?
Bro, it feels so great. Like, you know what? I feel
That
so good about it right now. Let me read you some of the reviews I've gotten. I have 100% eBay
yeah,
rating.
yeah, yeah. Rating,
I,
rating.
I I was just rated top seller. which means if I'm top seller, I actually get a reward, which means that the cut that eBay takes, which is usually
It's
13 to
less.
15%,
Yo, 13%. That shit is ridiculous.
anything above 1,000 is 11%. But listen, bro, that's the price of doing
That's
business.
the
It's the
it's
price
the
of doing
price of
business.
doing business. It is. It is. It is.
And but they used to have a way where you used to pay $10 per listing. I would rather pay $1,000 uploading over 100 items, right? And then get this 13, 15% cut or whatever, bro. I would rather that more than anything.
Yo, I did.
Let me so anyways, let me tell you about some of my feedback. I have only one negative, I mean one neutral review because the guy was upset that the package it took 8 days for it to arrive. But I was saying to him, I said, sir, I said, I put your item to the post office literally a day after sale. And that was post office logistics. I said, I'm sorry you're upset about that, but that's not on me.
Yeah.
But
Some
it's
people are.
whatever. It's
Some people
one
are
it was
Karens. That's the one thing I don't like about having to sell. Like you just have to worry about that.
yeah, yeah. So let me see what was one of the best reviews that I ever got. Um Let me see. Oh yeah, I always get great communication. No, that actually was as a seller, as a buyer. I mean,
Yeah.
um, oh my goodness, I'm trying to find this here. There's one review that was like, "Oh, received as seller." Here we
Heartwarming.
go. Uh, Amazing card. Very happy with my purchase. Great card, fair price, fast service. Came well packaged, great communication, pleasure to buy from. Because I'm always open. I'm always open with all my buyers. Seller was very positive and easy to work with, great communication. I received what I ordered, a very good experience. That was the best one I got, and I'll tell you why. So I sold a Apple Magic keyboard for my girlfriend that was unopened. She just never used it,
Yeah.
and in an Xbox 360. I accidentally switched the
Or
shipping label. So the person was gonna get the thing put in a 360 was gonna get a 360 and the other person was gonna get a 360 got the Apple Magic keyboard. Oh my god, dude, I lost my shit when I found out. I was looking at my receipt. It just so happened to have it in my pocket. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, an Xbox doesn't weigh 2 pounds. I'm like, oh shit. So I unfortunately I lost I broke even. I didn't make profit. I spent all my profit because you had to pay $17 to get a package intercepted. Now I get two intercepted.
fuck. God damn.
So it took this guy a month to get his thing, but I always kept him updated. I always told him, I said, listen, bro, no news, no nothing. I even tried to call the other seller, the other customer.
Yeah.
They didn't even bother to answer me. They were they never even bothered to respond to any of the things I was saying, which was very odd. I still think that's odd.
I'm not gonna lie.
But
I
the
do that.
guy was so patient.
I do that sometimes too. I'm not gonna lie.
No, no, well, listen, you're just a shitty customer then. How about it?
No, well, I'm buying the
I'm just fucking with
product.
you, dude. I'm
No,
just
no,
fucking
no.
with you.
I'm just saying, like, I buy the product. You feel me? And I'll be like, it'll get here when it get here. I don't really give a fuck. Like, it'll just get here when it get here. I
No,
wouldn't
no, no.
bother
I'm, I'm
the
just, I'm just
seller.
fucking with you. But yeah, but for me though, if I'm the seller, like I was just, dude, my mind was spinning. Oh my god! But luckily, everything came back the way it was. And being on the receiving end on one of my packages was also a very good experience because it goes to show how I package things, right? So I'm like, wow, I'm like, it was a very positive experience opening up what I packaged. So I had to repackage it. First, I had to test the console again, make sure it worked, right? Make sure no one fucked with anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And I repackaged it in a new box. And then it finally went out to the guy, and the kid was so happy, he was overjoyed. Um, I've only had one bad experience where a guy thought I was tampering with something and I gave him a partial refund. I couldn't, and he's like, dude, I want my money back. I said, dude, this is how I bought it. I said it wasn't opened. Usually on some of these collector boxes for Resident Evil, like there's like three seals.
Yeah.
This one only had two. But there was no evidence of any residue from a sticker showing that something was opened. It was weird. It was like an error from the manufacturer. Um, I talked to some like video game collectors about it. They said, yeah, it's definitely an error. They said I wouldn't see it as an issue, but this one guy saw it as an issue.
Yeah.
I gave him his refund or whatever, and it was just that was that. But he didn't leave a negative review, so pretty much I gave him half his money back so he could shut up. Pretty much,
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with the bad press.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was very generous in that aspect. But yeah, so I think eBay is some of the most rewarding things you could ever do because if people are looking for shit like that, it's something very very rewarding. Like seeing that people truly enjoy what you bring to them, it just gives me the biggest like. I'm gonna be honest with you, it gives me the biggest fucking hard on ever.
This nigga. Yo. No, but like that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like if you could all right, let's say if your business with eBay, you love doing it.
Sure.
Let's say if it was like giving you a consistency of sales and
Yeah, I'm not
you
consistent. I'll be honest with you.
well
I come in waves.
no well I mean it's not easy, but if it
No.
gave you a consistency and you were able to leave your construction job and you were making more doing what you love to do, would you stay to it? Would you stay to it? Would you stay true to it?
If I had constant revenue stream, I wouldn't see why not.
All right.
The thing is that is like I was doing consignment for a little bit, and the dude ended up being a nutcase. Quick backstory, excuse me. Speaking of landscaping, he owns a local landscaping company in the area. I don't want to
Okay.
listen. I don't want to give the company's name because he has kids, and if he gets bad
Yeah,
press,
no,
you
don't
know,
do that. No, no.
you got it. No, I'm not going to do it. So let's call it company ABC, right? So he owns company ABC, which is not the name of it, by the way, but just saying. And
Okay.
and I always see his trucks in the area, and I post as anyone buying and selling baseball cards. And the owner, let's call him
Jack.
Timothy. That's not his
Okay.
name.
Timothy. Almost got it
Timothy
right.
calls me up. Timothy calls me up and says and says hey,
Hold on, man.
um,
Hold on. Yo, bro, I am doing something right now. Bye. Go ahead.
um, he's like, I have some high end baseball cards.
Okay.
And some people say, oh, I have these high end stuff. And I'm like, okay, so show me what you got, dog. Show me all this stuff. And it is some crazy cards. Like one crazy card that I had was a Pee Wee Reese rookie card. Pee Wee Reese was a player for the Brooklyn Dodgers, Hall of Famer, stud, superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Had over 2,000 game appearances, still a leader in hits, I think, for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Like, and this dude died, I think, in the 90s, if I remember. But
Okay.
he was a player from the 40s to the 50s, roughly. And so the fact that I saw his rookie card was utterly crazy. That's $1,000 card. I had a Nolan Ryan rookie card. Dude, I cannot tell you how many cards. And he would get these cards off of TikTok, he told me originally.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, like these streamers on TikTok, they sell cards and stuff. Like, it's kind of like on Whatnot or whatever, which is another card streaming app or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't fuck with those. I feel like I'd rather stick to my wheelhouse. eBay's my wheelhouse. eBay marketplace, man. That's what I do. And the flea market too. But
No, flea
nonetheless,
markets. I love flea markets. I ain't gonna lie.
oh, dude, they're the greatest. You could find someone who's selling. I'll tell you a story about why I do flea markets in a minute. I don't want to derail, but
Yeah.
So what happened was I'm banging, bro. I sold on my own 35 cards, totaling to over $7,000, and I got 25% of it. And I did that in 3 weeks. My phone would be going off crazy after crazy. This sold, that sold, this sold, that sold. It was crazy, insane. It was
Damn.
insane. But and then unfortunately, all good things have to come to an end.
Yeah.
So there was a situation on Christmas. It was on Christmas Day, and a guy who already spent $1,000 on me, right? He already spent a G. Calls me up and says, "Max, I want to buy three Mickey Mantle cards and a Mike Ditka rookie card, right?" And I'm like, bet. I said, I could do you, what did I say? I said 14. He's like 1285. I'm like, dude, and I explained why. I don't think 1285 was a fair price. And nonetheless, we got to 14.
Damn, you got him. Damn.
The guy tells me, Timothy calls me. I almost said his name. Oh my goodness. Timothy calls me
Yeah.
and says to me, he's like, Max, he's like, you're gonna have to take a cut. I bought these cards high. I said, listen, Timothy. So with all due respect, you buying cards high, unfortunately, isn't my problem. I said, I told you I could do you what damage control I can, and I think I'm doing a very fair job. He blew 30K on cards during the pandemic, and he isn't going to make that money back. He may break even or close to it, but he's not getting his money back or even profit. He told me you'd like to make at least 10%. Unfortunately, it was a fat dream because some of these cards he bought was very very high. So I was being honest and upfront with him, like I wasn't sugarcoating shit, and I told him that, and he's like, you're gonna have to take $200. I said, no way am I taking $200 off of a $1,400 sale. I said, I'll level with you. I said, I understand. I said, I understand. I know what it's like to buy something high. But I said, what I can do, I said, I can do you 20% this time. I can take 5% off just this once. Because to me, this means that if somebody is going to treat me like that, then what else are they going to do further down the line? Because now my mind's racing about this shit.
Yeah.
Like we had a really clear cut business opportunity was I hustle, I go to the post office, deliver everything to the post office to go to the customers. I list on eBay. I get 75%, I get 25%, he gets 75. I Zelle and Venmo him or whatever he prefers every single time there's a sale. And I was always on time. And so what happened was he's like, no. He's like, unless you get 1,500, no deal. You're gonna have to take $200. I said, JT. Oops, shit. I said his name. Oopsies.
It's okay.
Oh well. It could be any JT. Sorry.
It could be
Timothy. Oopsies. Sorry, I got way too intense in this conversation.
I can tell it hits a nerve.
It does hit a nerve. It does hit a nerve. I didn't lose money because I had no expenses, but I could have made so much more. And he kept telling me, he's like, it's not about the money, it's about the principle. I'm like, what principle? I said, you made me screw up a $1,400 deal all because of a measly $100. The dude was going to meet me at the gas station right near where I work during my work break, and we were going to do the transaction right there. And then he sends me a photo. Listen to this. This guy sends me a photo of him burning $100. And I thought it was the $100 I gave him in cash because there was one deal for a Satchel Paige card, who was, as a side note, he was one of the oldest MLB players. He retired when he was 59 years old. Utterly crazy. A 1953 Satchel Paige card that someone paid $420 for, and that was the only Facebook Marketplace deal I did out of his. Everything else was on eBay. So with the $420 in cash, I went to his house, and I thought that was one of the $100. But then I zoomed in, and then it says needgod.com, and I'm like, huh? I'm like, this dude sent me a video of him burning a fake $100 bill and talking to me about principle. I'm like, yo, this dude's crazy. I said, I gotta get out of this shit.
That's
And
crazy.
you know, my dad is one of my biggest advocates. So I talked to my dad about how I approach this. I said, Dad, there's a card show coming up. When you talking to me about card shows and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I said there was one going up in North Jersey in Bergen County. I was gonna go up there with all these cards. I was gonna be the hottest shit there, bro. I was gonna be I guarantee you. And I thought to myself, I'm like, if I went to this show, which was only 4 days away at the time, I said, what would happen? Would there be something bigger than what the argument was about now? Would he then question my legitimacy as a businessman in this predicament? Would he question me? And I'm like, so I decided to take the route of I gotta get this guy out of my head and out of my life. Because at that point it was getting insane. Utterly insane.
Fuck
So
JT.
I
Sorry.
know, I know. So I went to his house late at night, and I not really late, more like 7:30. And I dropped off his stuff, and he calls me up. He's like, "Yo, are you retarded?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Dude, you're ruining this deal because I asked you." And I'm like, "Dude, are you retarded?" I said, "We had a deal that was 25% firm." And he's like, "Dude," he's like, "business decisions are subject to change." I'm like, "No, they're not."
Yo.
So this dude is absolutely crazy. And it's unfortunate too, because him and I had a good thing going, bro. And it just went south so quickly. I'm not the type of person to take advantage of. I love to do business. I love to do I love to help people out. Like, you don't have enough time to sell things, I'll help you.
Yeah.
I'm fair, but I just don't take advantage of me
Yeah,
like
just
that,
don't
bro.
take it. Just don't take advantage of it. You should take it. Nobody should take advantage of anybody anyway.
And I went to that card show anyways, and I had to scrounge up whatever inventory I could of my personal things. And I only made $200 there. Dude, I had about at the time, I had about 8 grand of inventory in a box
Damn,
in my room.
8 grand is crazy.
I
And
was
that's
gonna be the hottest shit there, dude. And unfortunately, I wasn't, and I had to go anyway because I'm like, bro, I paid $50 for this seat, right? I paid $50 for the table, bro. I'm gonna try to make
something.
I'm gonna try to make it work.
Yeah, make something.
So I mean, at least I made my money back. I made my money back on my table.
Hmm. At least,
So there was
well, yeah,
that.
you made more because you said you paid 50 and you made 200, so you came out with 150, right?
Yeah, I mean, but dude, imagine the money I could have come out with.
No, sure.
But the thing is though, you don't harp on the what ifs, which sometimes is my issue. I tend to always harp on the what ifs. I need to focus on the now. So once again, I'm sorry for saying his name, but
No, it's
I
okay.
was just
It's okay. It,
I try to keep it private.
sometimes people's story, sometimes people
I
expect their
had
story
a
not to come
Freudian
out.
slip, I guess if you will, a Freudian slip.
No, no, but I'm saying sometimes, kudos to you because sometimes dickheads don't deserve to be under the covers. Sometimes people
No,
should.
and listen, when you get an honest person, and listen, I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal or anything, but I'm a pretty honest guy. I'm very upfront with you.
Yeah,
Like I will not sure. I will tell you. Like I told him. I said, you bought your cards high, not my problem. And the thing is, he treated it as if like it was a friendship. And the thing is that if I'm your actual friend and we're doing business, yeah, that's two friends doing business.
hmm
But dude, I'm not your friend. The guy, I don't want to put him. I don't want to shame him, but he was not the nicest guy to his wife and to his children. I just want to say it like that.
Well, he's not the nicest guy to you either.
No, he's not. And
You
my problem was is that I thought I could separate the person from the business, and you can't. The
can't.
person is the business.
Exactly.
But here's
That
the thing:
that
I
only
came out with two
works.
grand now.
That only works out if it's something like where you have to play a character. Like that's where that like if it's like a movie. Like if you need me
Right.
to play a dickhead in a movie, that doesn't mean I'm a dickhead
Okay.
in
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
life.
I
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah.
But listen, bro, I came out with over $2,000 at the end of the day,
Hey, you
and
came
I
up.
needed that boost. I came out with the money, and that was something I significantly needed. I needed that boost. I needed that money. And that money has allowed me to even like spoil my girlfriend a little bit, like I took her out to a nice dinner. I bought some cards for investment. It allowed me to do something. It bought me that Steph Curry rookie card,
It was
bro.
a
I
blessing.
would
It was a blessing.
it was a blessing in a very weird, fucked up way.
Hey,
It was a
guess
blessing.
guess who came out strong? Not the person that did
I
all the
did.
bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, and he screwed it over, bro. I sold 35 cards in 3 weeks. 35 over $7,000.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Well, look.
And only four. I sold 39 things for that month. Only four things I sold were mine. I sold this model train that I got at a garage sale, and then I sold one baseball card and two Pokemon cards. No, I'm sorry. I sold a video game and and two Pokemon cards. Yeah, so four things. That was it. And that's all that I sold that were mine. Everything else was consignment. But now here's the screwed up part. He's gonna get even more banged up. If you make over $5,000, you get 1099,
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was.
which is the
Hold
tax.
on. What's the Because I know eBay when Biden was president, he signed something. I think it was like over $600. You get taxed on now or some. Not.
No, no, it's five. It's 5,000.
It's five.
Generally, from what I was told, you get taxed on anything if you make over 5 grand.
Nah, they nah. I swear to God, I sold something on eBay.
Let me
That
let
shit
me
was
look
like
at
over
that
six
because I don't want
hundred.
to be talking out of my ass.
Yeah, I swear to God, it was something about if you sell more than $600, you have to you're gonna get taxed on something similar to that. I can't really get it up. I know it was something like that.
The minimum income. Hold on.
I know it has
Uh,
to be
uh,
something. It's like 600, bro. I'm
Hold on.
telling you.
I'm looking at something.
On eBay.
Oh, wait, hold up. Okay, wait here. So for 1099, small business owners, contractors, freelancers, gig workers, and others who make more than $400 profit
There,
must pay self-employment tax.
there it is. Something like
Workers
that.
are taxed at 15.3%. Holy moly, of their net profit.
God damn, boy.
So, okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a
For
lot.
each person whom you have paid at least $600 for the following
There it
year.
is.
Oh, you have paid. So that means if I have an employee and I pay them.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, all right, makes sense. All right.
So, but I don't know where this 5 grand. I remember my father telling me something about $5,000. Oh, taxpayers who recorded more than $2,500 in business transactions in calendar year 2025. Tax years. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think I don't know if it's this year, but I know it applied on 2022. I think it was that it started. I think so. If it was 2022.
Right. So now here's the thing. Before I made that $7,000 each month, the best month I had was like I made $1,100 for a month. Right. So it was really just a very small hustle.
Yeah.
Without that $7,000, I probably would have made 5 grand. So I think I would have been 1099 regardless. But I mean, I don't know.
All's
I don't
fair,
know how
man.
this
Having
shit
your
works, man.
own,
Like I'm still living at home with my parents and my. I mean, listen, I may look old, but I'm only
yeah.
25.
Ah,
So I mean, I'm still
doing
hella
good for
young,
your
just like the rest of
age.
y'all.
Doing good for your age.
I look,
Except you
dude.
gotta take
I've
that
gotten
flannel
40.
off. That's what make you look old.
Okay, let me take it off. How
Yeah.
about that? How
All right.
about that?
Yeah. Now, cause that
I
flannel
mean,
makes
listen,
you
dude.
look like.
I got that Jew fro going on right now, and I am Jewish, so I can say that. I got that Jew fro going on, bro.
Yo,
Like,
you need to get the fade now. Just get a fade. You feel me?
dude, I need to get a haircut. Yo, dude,
I
there's
do
these
too, my
Dominican
nigga.
dudes. There's these Dominican dudes a couple towns over from me,
Yeah.
bro. They do the best freaking job. They are artists at what they
Facts.
do, and plus, I got some balding going on right now, dude, which
Facts.
sucks.
Facts,
I should
bro.
not have balding at 25 years old, bro. But listen,
Dominicans
man,
and
I
Puerto
appreciate it.
Ricans.
What?
Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, they know how to cut hair.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. That's their craft. That's their craft.
But listen, man, that that wraps about it about the time.
Sure.
Uh,
I had a lot of fun, bro. We
yeah,
had some
no,
good talk.
we could definitely do this again. I don't have a problem with it. We bring up more topics. I like that you're open book. Like you're not scared to say your opinions. You feel me? Like
No, bro,
because
I'm not. People don't need to like me for them, but I'm authentic.
yeah, not and that's the best, man. I like somebody that has open book, like to speak about their feelings, speak about their opinions,
Sure.
and the best part was that you made sense because not only you but me too. I try to understand both people's sides, you know, because I can't see what you see, and I can't be ignorant enough to just tell you what I see. So
Right,
when
and
it
I
comes,
admitted there were some things I didn't know about.
yeah,
I didn't claim to know about.
same thing with me. I didn't know about baseball. I only know Babe
Right. Yeah.
Ruth. I only know Babe Ruth. That's why I asked. I was
Listen,
like
listen,
Babe
man.
Ruth.
Listen, man. Knowing Babe Ruth is good enough,
Oh,
right?
thank you.
Knowing Babe Ruth is good enough. And you know what, man?
And having a fucking Steph Curry card is good enough.
I'm
God
telling you,
damn.
bro. That card. I listen, man. I don't know how much that card could be worth one day.
One day I think it's
I would
gonna be
not be
worth a lot.
surprised if something sold for like $75,000, bro. I'm not gonna be surprised.
You know what you should do while he's playing right now for the next couple years? Try to at least get one game in Philly or New York when he's playing, and try to get him to sign that card. I think he will sign it.
I see. The thing is, I can't because it's in a slab. The
Fuck
card's
the
rated.
slab. Let him write it right there on the thing.
Well, there is one thing I can do. Wait, hold up. There is one thing I can do. I could have him sign the slab,
That's what I meant.
and I could take it to this other company. They're actually local. It's in Parsippany. It's called JSA.
Hmm.
And JSA, they mostly grade signatures. So, and how they have authenticity is that they have a paper that says this is the signature of so and so. This is an authentic signature. Blah 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 blah. So what I could do is I could have him sign the slab, send the slab over.
I would.
I mean, I could technically do that. It won't be as much as an on-card autograph, though,
Yeah,
but it
but
would be something. Personally, I think it's a waste of time
I
because
no, it's not. Trust me, I'm telling you, I would do it,
I
and
could
he's
have
such a
Steph Curry
nice
sign something else.
or something. Listen,
I mean, I could.
I'm
I
just
could.
saying he would. He's just a nice enough guy that he
Is he
will.
really a nice guy?
He's really nice. He's a really nice guy. Like if he sees that card, I promise you he'll sign it right there. Even if it's on the slab, he'll sign it right there. Like you could be on. I don't know what type of seats they're called. Not courtside seats, but like I don't know, like the seats where they going through the entry of the hallway and shit, or come out. You could be right there and try to show him his card, show him the card, bro. I promise you, I think he will sign that card.
Right. Yeah, I used to be big into basketball. I actually stopped following basketball when the Nets no longer were a part of New Jersey. That's when
Yeah,
I stopped.
damn, that was a long ass
So
time
like,
ago.
so
God
like,
damn, nigga.
yeah, yeah. So my favorite players growing up were uh uh were Vince Carter and Jason Kidd.
Yeah, yeah, that's two good basketball players right there.
Although Jason Kidd, he had the allegations of him beating his wife and all. I mean, listen, I don't know if those are true. Who knows?
I
But he was a great player on the court.
no comment.
No comment as
No
well,
comment.
bro. No comment as well. But I did like Carter though a little bit more.
Yeah, no, Vince Carter was. I like posterizing niggas. That shit was crazy. But yeah, like I said, I would love to get you back on one day. We could talk about something else, you know. And I had a good time, you know. I
I had a
like I
great
said,
time too, brother.
I like learning from people. I like hearing people. I like understanding people. I like learning something new. Like, because most of the shit that you was
Sure.
talking about, I didn't know. But I ask questions, you know, and I sit here and now I do my own research to make sure what you said was true. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Nah, I know what you
Listen,
said.
listen,
Nah,
listen. If I say something wrong, if I say
no,
something
no, no,
wrong,
no. I'm
I
just
I own up to it. I'll be like, whatever.
nah, but
Sorry.
that's a great attribute to have, like to just be honest about shit. And if you don't
Yeah,
know, you
but
don't
but
know.
listen, man. If you ever want to invest in any cards, buy Steph Curry because he's going to be in the Hall of Fame soon.
I know, I know. But what I won't buy is Pokemon
Um,
cards because I don't know shit.
Listen, you don't have to know shit to know that Charizard is the best Pokemon ever. Okay,
But
so
what
we
about
got that out of the way.
Pikachu? What?
There are some Pikachu cards that are valuable, but if we're talking also most valuable, Charizard without a doubt. A high
If I
grade
see a
Charizard just
Charizard,
sold for 60,000.
if I see a Charizard outside and it's flying around, I'll definitely go running for it. But if I see Pikachu, I won't go running.
Yeah, yeah. Be careful of that Thunderbolt though, bro. Be careful of that shit.
Well, look, all right, man. Well, look, it was great to see you. Great having you on. And then, like I said, if we get
Yeah,
back in
sure.
touch, we'll do something else again. All right.
All right, facts. All right, peace out,
All right.
bro.
Peace. See you. All right, guys. So that was a great little stream, little podcast time with him. About to end it, and thank you guys for watching. All right.